Hey, it is the first day of July. What happened to June? I have no idea. First day of July, 2022, as you're watching this. Keep it in mind as we talk about current events in the travel industry. I'm Rudy Maxa, travel journalist, travel broadcaster, and my partner in our small luxury European tour company called maxatours.com is sitting next to me here in Sacramento, near Sacramento, California. I am in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul. He is Tommy Danielson. I am Rudy Maxa. Nice to have you here. Keep in mind, as we talk about current events in travel, we're talking July 1st, 2022. So if you're watching this a week or even a year later, some of this advice may be dated, shall we say it. It is. Hi, Tommy. How are you?
Good. Beautiful. Ready for a long weekend. We've had a couple of quick jabs this week. It's going 100 miles an hour here, doesn't it?
It has been moving fast. So I was cheered to see that the Louvre thinks it's going to open.
Notre Dame.
I keep thinking Louvre. Notre Dame. Why do I keep saying Louvre? I said that all day today.
It's a good question. Why do you keep saying that? That's
I have no idea, because I booked into the Hotel du Louvre the end of the month. I don't know. It's on my mind. Okay.
Right. So we see here. So it's been closed for a while. 5 years total. Looks like it took.
Yeah, it's not going to be finished. Don't understand, but they will have services there. You'll be able to walk in part of it. And they had this international, I think, an international competition, maybe just in Europe, for designing the area that the cathedral is built in. And it's going to be heavily treed. It's almost going to be like a forest around it, although the front plaza, should we say, will still be there. So you'll still be able to take your wedding pictures in front of Notre Dame. But the sides and the back are going to be extended closer to the Ile de Cité. It's going to be wooded and very park-like, very green. And on very hot days, they're going to run a very thin sheet of water down the plaza in front of Notre Dame to cool the air and cool the cement, or the stone. Excuse me. I guess it's stone there. But
Wait a minute. We already talked about this yesterday or 2 days ago, didn't we? I thought we talked about the sprinkle.
I thought we did too. I didn't know.
Now you know twice. You heard it here twice, folks.
Maybe I catch it 2 days ago. It's funny. Before we started, I said, "Tommy, did we do the Notre Dame?"
I don't remember. Honestly, when you're talking about the sprinkles, because we also talked that they have it at Malpensa Airport. They also have.
Right. We did talk about this. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still,
we both had a senior moment. I'm 50 and you're 72, and we're both at senior moments at the same time. That's funny.
All right. Well, but Notre Dame is still going to open. They hope in time.
It's still going to open. Yeah. Do we know how much it costs? To get it going?
Oh, tens of millions. I mean, I've gone by there twice since they've been renovating. It's just incredible what they're doing. I don't know. Is it in this article? Maybe.
I didn't say. I just
I can't scroll down.
This one now.
Sure.
But, yeah. I got one thing that's interesting, and it shouldn't come to us as a surprise to somebody who follows the industry shortly. But Gary from View from the Wing, a dear friend of ours, who is one of the world's leading experts and also a provocative thought leader here, is mentioning that El Al is securing a loan for $130 million against the asset of their loyalty program, Matmeed, which is valued at $500 million, is how much they are. They are valuing their loyalty program at $500 million, and the deal gives the lender the access to the right to purchase 25% of their loyalty program.
Wow.
And the market cap of the airline is $180 million. So it's incredible that how much more these loyalty programs are worth compared to the airlines themselves.
It reminds me of one of our past recessions when Bob Crandall was CEO of American Airlines, and the airline was losing money hand over fist. But the magazine American Way, I don't think they publish anymore, but I haven't flown American. Yeah, I don't think. Do they publish American Way? I don't know. Anyway,
I don't think so. I think they've nuked it. United still has there. I'm not sure though.
I don't think. Anyway, the magazine was making a profit, and the airline was losing money hand over fist. And Robert Crandall said publicly, he said, I should just close down the airline and publish the magazine.
Right, exactly. Well, I think, and we're talking, obviously the magazine is one thing, but we're talking these airlines, the U.S. carriers, have taken it to a whole new different level, which is, causing problems in their operations because they are selling these credit cards to get access to their lounges. And, but to put into perspective the magnitude of these business deals, it got Delta Airlines out of bankruptcy.
Yeah,
Literally, American Express paid in advance billions of dollars on purchasing Delta miles in order for them to do restructure in Chapter 11 back in 2009, I think it was, when that stuff happened. So it was just incredible numbers. United, American, Delta, Southwest, they purchased from Citibank, from Chase, from American Express. They purchase the American Express and Citi and Chase. They purchase billions of dollars that they pay the airlines to have these miles and to offer it to their credit card customers.
Yeah, let's make that clear. If you're not familiar with how these things work, if you're listening or watching and aren't familiar, it's very simple. When you get those credit cards, you get all those miles. If it's affiliated with an airline, particularly. And but the credit card company, whether it's MasterCard, Visa, Chase Bank, Capital One, they have to buy those miles from the airline. So it's very profitable for the airline to sell them those miles. And in fact, I think during the pandemic, a couple airlines went to American, went to a couple credit card companies, said we need a few $100 million, and they bought miles.
Well, billions. They're asking for billions, and they're getting it because the problem is that obviously at the game is Zimbabwe style devaluation of these miles, right? When the big question is, when are we coming to a tipping point where customers don't see the value anymore?
Well,
but I mean, at the end of the day, yes, American Airlines, and Gary has written multiple articles and done analysis on this. He's a really smart guy. And Gary wrote about it. And American, before the pandemic, American had a profit of $2 billion. And they're not those $2 billion came from, they didn't make any, they make barely any money from flying planes. They have 800 planes. More than 800 planes, the biggest airline in the world, and they're not making money from operating those planes. They're making money from selling miles to.
So they have to keep flying the planes so that they can have miles to sell.
Correct, and deal with unions and other fun stuff. So you had you had one interesting thing about Airbnb.
The party's over. Airbnb, the party is over. Apparently, there are enough reports from people who have let out their home or treehouse or whatever they're letting out, that people rent them to give big parties. And I gather they must announce the parties on Airbnb's site, because Airbnb says no more mentions of parties or big gatherings, well, as they call it, disruptive parties and events, including those promoted on social media. So I guess people were saying, hey, we got an Airbnb house in San Francisco. Here's the address. The party's at 9.
Right.
And there's been enough damage done to houses or things stolen that Airbnb says the party is over, and they're going to it's their policy now that you can't have you can have your family over, obviously, or a small discrete party, but you can't have an open invite gathering on social media or make a habit of having big parties in the houses, or you'll be you'll be
yeah. I think that so there have been these both and also there, if you read the article in the New York Times this morning, you'll see that there has been houses that have been rented out for the purpose of having parties, and it's a neighborhood nuisance. And there's too many people who don't think too broadly about the consequences of having 500 people. even if you're okay with having that at your rental property, your neighbors might not be okay with it.
Yeah, and last year, 2021, so keep in mind that was largely a COVID year. Most of it, we were still huddling inside. Airbnb kicked 6,600 Airbnb members off the platform for disruptive parties. So it is a problem for them.
Yeah, it's a problem for them, and there's some of the hosts that are doing this as well. And if you read the article, you can say that there are hosts that are also advertising, you can have your party here with us, and that is not. And you can see there's a lady from Dallas from the neighborhood coalition who are limiting short-term apartments. And these Airbnbs, when there are too many of them, they have big impact on the communities. And I can see that could be problematic because, when you have hotels and you have other places to stay, even if it's a campground or if it's an RV park and whatnot, it's problematic there's zones for that. But when neighborhoods get too packed of things like this, it'll have impacts and things.
Okay.
Then we've got the last thing I had for today is that this is phenomenal news that
what's this?
Crystal is coming back.
Abercrombie and Kent have bought them?
Abercrombie and Kent had not. So the deal has been facilitated by somebody we know, Mr. Dovidio, the guy who started Silver Seas in Italy and sold it to Royal Caribbean for a couple $2 billion not too long ago. He's the guy behind the bid and who have been facilitating it. It's going to be operated by Abercrombie and Kent Travel Group, or they've been acquired by it, financed and financed by this the Heritage, the industry holding company that Mr. Dovidio, the Silver Sea guy, owns. So it's going to be, the good news is it's not going to be, the first thing I think about when I think Abercrombie and Kent, it's like, wow, every cruise is going to be $50 million in 2 weeks, right?
Well,
so and it becomes, it's the same feeling I have. I mean, we're doing okay for ourselves, but neither one of us are feeling good about the Daniele going from $500 a night to $2,000 a night because it's going to be a Four Seasons. Same thing happened in Athens. We had the Arion and the Westin that turned into a Four Seasons, which went from $200-300 off season to $2,000 a night now for just these same rooms with views of the parking lot. Same thing here. So it's going to be operated as Crystal Cruises. They bought the brand and they brought the name. So Crystal is coming back.
But they're going to glam it up, it says here. They're extensive renovations, and the first ships will sail next year, resume service next year, 2023. Doesn't say when.
I mean, glam it up. I don't think Crystal needs a lot of glamming. I think Crystal itself was doing really well. It was a profitable cruise line, but their owners were the ones who were struggling in Hong Kong, and they got caught up in that. And I can't believe that they bought those two ships, the brand name and everything, for $128 million. That's all the money they pay for two operational ships, and also the brand name.
Yeah, and there's Greenberg's buddy Manfredi in there too in the deal. You saw that?
Yeah, that's the guy I was referencing, the guy who started Silver Seas.
Yeah, still owns it, I think, as far as I know. But
no, he sold it to Royal Caribbean for $2 billion, I think.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, a while back, I think.
I didn't know that. Well, Manfredi.
Yeah. You say that it's Captain Petey's buddy?
Oh yeah, he and Captain Peter Greenberg, the travel editor, CBS. Like that, believe me.
All right, that's cool. Good to know. But at the end of the day, I think that it's exciting. The brand was great, and boy, have the mighty fallen, and they've made some horrible decisions. And Megadu, the company that operates Rudy Max's tours, wasn't sniffing in the same industry, like round the world jet cruises, if you will. So where you have Four Seasons operates in the space, Nat Geo does, and
Wall Street Journal, I think.
Yeah. The who?
Wall Street Journal, I think, runs around the world.
No, I don't think Wall Street Journal, but there are a couple of operators here that kind of does it. So they have these cruises. You stop. You have a private jet, which is a 757, now an Airbus 321 with lie flat seats, only 60, 70 seats in a plane that has 200 normally. And Crystal was also in the space. They were going to boom over the space, and we did a. We did a big analysis on trying to start something there, and because there are many that have tried, and it's not a very hard look at it. They went big. They bought a 777 and a X Delta 777-200 ER and a 787, newer 787 that they purchased, and they were going to start doing those cruises around the world, air cruises around the world. And it blew up in their faces. They it's very, very difficult to sell something that costs $150,000 a person. It's, cruises has a wide range. It starts at, $300. And on the same boat you have, or ship, whatever, you have a dude that's paying, or a couple that's paying, $100,000 for the
they can take people on intermediate stops, between intermediate stops, whereas on the plane, around the world plane, you're going around the world or you're not going, and to fill up a wide body is
Yeah,
So,
and they also had like a dining room in the front and a bar and some other fun stuff that obviously is the real estate of the $200 million plane is well, the fun. The 777 cost more money, or the 787 cost more money than the whole acquisition of Crystal here. So that's interesting,
yeah.
right?
Well, I'm sorry I missed that around the world trip. Well, all
Yeah,
right.
no kidding. I think that it's fun to see Crystal back. I'm excited about that. It's a cruise line that I was really sad to see them go because they've always been known for their quality. It's by far one of the best top three ones in the world. I think them and Regent and Silver Seas are kind of the big three good ones.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Any good plans for the weekend, Rudy?
Well, going to a July 4th party on July 4th, some fireworks, some grilling outside, a real American July 4th weekend. Yes. And you, Tommy?
I think we're going to go hiking a little bit. It's cooler here now. It's only 80s. So during the day and 50s at night. So I think we'll do a little bit of hiking, but we also have pretty much the same thing. We're not nothing exciting, but that's good every once in a while. A little bit of break in familiar grounds without packing a suitcase is good every once.
Have a nice weekend. Unless there's breaking news, I guess I'll talk to you next week.
Giddy up. We will see everybody on Tuesday and enjoy your 4th of July holiday weekend.
Keep in mind, this is we are talking this talk on July 1st of 2022. So take all that information within that context. See you later. If you want to get my newsletter, by the way, go to maxatours.com/newsletter. It's free. It's irregular. It's gossipy, but it's a lot of travel news. maxatours.com/newsletter. Thanks.